Yo, 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 Big Kish back up in here. I sort of skimmed through this video a little bit. He about to be getting the history because it dawned on me as well. I said, wasn't Jay-Z the president of Def Jam? But he was released from Def Jam. He was no longer the president. That was a long time ago. And yeah, fantastic hip hop gonna be sort of getting into the history. And also, he's gonna be getting into the clips being released from Def Jam and UMG and proceeding to Roc Nation to release this beautiful album, right? Let God sort them out. We about to get into this. Before we get into that, y'all make sure y'all pick y'all up a copy of Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset, written by me, Big Kish. The link will be in the description. Yeah. Y'all know I like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Now, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, well, if you are ready to see how one of the biggest turning points in the history of hip-hop just happened right before our own eyes, and things will never be the same because of it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out.
How Kendrick and Pusha T just started a war with the industry, and it will get bad. Check it out, y'all.
A ton, and at this point, all of hip-hop needs to know what's going on with the biggest faces in the genre, because right now, what is becoming more clear as the news that Pusha T revealed to us about UMG, Def Jam, and Drake literally shelving and stopping his album from coming out due to the Kendrick Lamar verse on it is reaching more and more people.
He looks scary.
Is that while we all thought the music industry had major problems already, we really haven't even seen the surface of it yet, because with what we have now seen the biggest label in the industry do, all to try and spare Drake's feelings, is something that is showing that the industry is trying to take away creative freedom from its artists as a whole, all to benefit the bottom line and the guy who has really been pulling the strings despite the victim.
And we got to keep talking about this. Everybody, most people thinking that Drake, oh, well, y'all keep giving him flack. I say we ain't giving him enough flack. That's why we got to keep reminding everybody who this guy really is. We got to keep our foot on his neck, man, because he can't get away with this, man, for real.
Victim card he's been deceiving the public with. And now, while this whole idea of a label silencing what its artists can do is so bad, and there is so much that we are learning from the impact of this news alone, over everything else, with Push coming out and telling us this, and with him now taking the steps to make sure that him and Kendrick Lamar can be heard together without the control of the industry. With this, the trio now of Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar, and Jay-Z, who is the one who is using his own brand to get this record out, have just started a beef and feud with the industry that no other artist has ever on this scale. And now, from the labels itself like Def Jam and UMG, which owns it, to Drake, who was whining to make sure that this song never came out with all of his paperwork. Well, in a period of time where there have never been more questions about what rappers can say and do because of lawbreaking, and now with what Pusha T has exposed, we now know.
Yeah, he acting like a little spoiled brat, talking about, oh, UMG, y'all didn't protect me. Protect you from what? You act like somebody's really trying to come out and do bodily harm to you, bro. Oh, you didn't protect me. Straight up baby, bro.
Know the labels are trying to look out for themselves rather than the benefit of their own artists and their creative expression? Well, now, as the curtain has been pulled, and with the combined effort of Push letting the people know about what's been happening, the way the industry treated the biggest rapper in the world in Kendrick Lamar, and now with Jay-Z getting involved to make sure that this record has all the support it needs to be heard properly. Well, with the stakes set with three of the most powerful people in all of hip-hop, well, we are now seeing a beef and feud unfold that is truly unlike anything else we have ever seen. Because in this era where the labels have gotten whatever they have wanted and they've been able to take away and suppress whatever they have desired, well, now with Jay, Push, and Kendrick together, they are standing in the face of this industry-wide mess and are paving a path that all creatives are going to need to support to win this thing going forward. And now, before we get any further into this, if you have not already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and seriously, as due to the stakes of the moves that we are seeing around this Clips album and the Kendrick Lamar verse, well, in terms of the impact that this is going to have on the future of how we get not just rap, but all music in the future, we have really not seen something more important than this all year. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe so hip-hop can see how the music industry just changed forever right now and how Jay, Push, and Kendrick have something bigger than ever that they are going against. And now with that said, when it comes to everything that we just found out in rap, there is really so much to unpack here and just make sense of. And the first thing over everything else that is now so clear about this situation is that despite Drake and the OVO community trying to push this false narrative due to their fake and pathetic outrage that Kendrick Lamar is this industry puppet who does what he says, and that Jay-Z, for that matter, is right within the same circle as Kendrick with UMG, and they all planned Drake to get humiliated and then gave Kendrick the Super Bowl to solidify this downfall from Drake, well, now with a beef and feud that is spanning not just rappers but brands, and for a message and precedent that is bigger than just a competitive difference. Well, the first thing that we can see about this entire moment in time is that first off, as Drake is the guy who is getting these Kendrick verses held back and the Clips album shelved, and who the label is silencing its own music for to help.
It just seemed like somebody that's falling, right? And he's trying to scratch his way back up. He's trying to scratch it. He's trying to do everything he could to still use his power. And it's not working. What he meant for evil is going to be some good come out of there. Because you already disrespected Hov. You already disrespected Jay. So now what you did was you forced it, and it was said that the Clips had to pay 7 figures to get up out of that. So now you forced them over there with Roc Nation. You already beefing with Jay. Jay got bread. Pharrell got bread. You've been talking all of this slick junk about Kendrick and, oh, come get Pharrell legacy out of my house. And you keep running your mouth. You running your mouth. You throwing rocks at a what they call it? I see a glass house. You throwing rocks and hiding your hand. However it go. Now it's catching up with you. You're so used to picking with people and then running behind Lucian Grainge. You pick with people, run behind UMG. You pick with people, run behind Lucian Grainge. Now you're messing with somebody that's a little above you, which is Jay-Z. You knocking on the right door. You knocking on the right door. You barking up the wrong tree. Let's get it.
Well, after all, it is Drake who is playing the industry games and who is using the labels to actually ruin the state of music itself and the way that we can understand expression. And now beyond Drake being more aligned with the industry machine, even in this time where he has created the mess he has with them in the first place, what is also so clear is that for the big names in this thing who are now letting the Clips album drop and who are letting everyone hear this Kendrick Lamar verse that the industry is clearly terrified of. Well, again, the people who are doing this are Jay-Z and Roc Nation, and after all of the narratives that were made from fake outrage about Jay being all in for UMG and whatever they wanted with the end of Drake and the support of Kendrick Lamar, well, once again, we are finding out that Drake, OVO, and everybody around them have been more than wrong, because with what Jay is doing by using Roc Nation to release a body of work that UMG did not want everyone to hear, is again straight up engaging in a beef with the people that they thought Drake was trying to win against, and at that, is doing it within a way that is way more respectable than Drake could ever even fathom, because unlike Drake, who creates problems in the industry for personal pettiness and then causes verses and entire albums to not get released like what we have seen here, well, Jay is actually beefing with the people Drake wants you to believe he is against, as he is now standing in the face of the entire machine that runs music and how they wanted us to hear everything that was coming out this year, and is just telling them that you can't control hip-hop as an expression and art form and stop people from hearing a collab that is so important to the culture. But really, it's fitting that Jay is the one doing this because he's not just a rapper, but he is the guy who has taken everything so far that he has built something so big on his own, that he is in a position where he can do this and use his tools for the best purposes, which is to make sure that everyone can hear what hip-hop has to say in the most authentic and therefore powerful way. And again, now from the Super Bowl to the Clips album and this Kendrick verse specifically, I mean, when you see how many people try to make fake narratives up and outrage about Jay-Z for no reason, it really does start to make sense, because in an industry based on following trends and not standing out, Jay is the first guy who is using what he has to do things that are making these labels very uncomfortable, and somebody like
look at Cali. He just looked like he don't belong at the table, man. He do not look like
he's using what he has.
Look at him. Get out of here, man.
to do things that are making these labels very uncomfortable, and somebody like Drake just crash out more and more. And again, him being the one to step in and make sure that this is all getting out is so pivotal for so many reasons. And now, as the label who Push and Clips were on is Def Jam, which is owned by UMG and was restructured under Republic Records, which is the label that Drake is on, well, in all honesty, to make this moment even more poetic, as Jay used to be the former head of Def Jam and gave the label its last great run. Seeing Jay and Roc Nation get out this album and help Push tell this story, which has never made Def Jam look worse and really is the final sign of their forever downfall. I mean, it is fitting in a way, and I hope that Hov raps about it the next time he gets in the booth. But now, beyond what Jay-Z is doing here and what it represents at the highest level, well, alongside them in this major play against the industry with both Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T, they are also playing such a big role to this as well, because again, in an industry where labels are used to get...
Again, don't forget, Drake and Kendrick Lamar is under UMG, but they do not have the same type of deal. They do not have the same deal. They got a whole different deal going on. With Drake, he belongs in Lucien Grange's back pocket. Kendrick, not so much. He got his own little. It's a little. It ain't weird as though they could just make Kendrick do anything they want to do. It don't work like that. They don't have the same deal. They both under UMG, but they don't have the same type of deal.
Getting whatever they want, and in all honesty, most rappers are so lazy these days that they don't even care to stand up for their own visions and will do whatever the labels tell them to. Both with the verse Kendrick made where he did not hold anything back so clearly, and with how Pusha T stood in the belief of his own work so much that it got him off a label roster. Really, these two MCs here are showing that it has never been more important to care about what you do and stand by your vision and work no matter what. And again, while this is now going to let them finally get out this song that everyone has wanted to hear for quite a while, in the greater picture of this all, what Kendrick and Push are about to be the faces of in the music world in a sense, is this idea and moment where we are seeing, both due to Drake and the industry, an effort to try and make hip-hop less authentic and take away the best ability that rappers have, which is of course what they can say with their own words. That no matter what the industry tries and what Lawbray wants to do, you cannot take away this ability from rappers and MCs everywhere. And really, with people like Kendrick and Push behind it all, it is so clear that MCs are willing to do and stand on anything they have to make sure that everyone knows that no matter what, this ability to rap and say what they want and create the most passionate art will not go away. And again, as this entire moment and everything against these artists is standing in the face of that, and that's why this moment is so pivotal. What we are seeing go down, while it was so shocking, the way it is turning out and with how people like Push, Kendrick, and Jay are standing up to everything, it is a great thing. And when we look at this entire moment from Clips, and of course then we see Malice and Pharrell and all of the other features and contributions alongside them, in the lineage of...
Remember, Pharrell got a tight relationship with Jay. Y'all remember Pharrell used to always lace Jay up with them good beats. Them good beats. What was this around? 2003, 2004? We came out the Blueprint and all that stuff. I think, what was the Blueprint 2 or the Blueprint? 2003, 2004. Yeah, I think they album is going to do very well on Roc Nation. I think we gonna get something good, and they gonna get at Drake. They gonna get at Drake for this. They had to pay 7 figures to get up out of that deal, man. You gonna have to pay, bro. You gonna pay, bro. Oh yeah, we could spit whatever we want. See, we wasn't getting at you. We wasn't even sweet. We was talking We was talking about something else. But now, oh yeah. We ain't just gonna drop this album. We gonna be dropping more music after that. And you go ahead and click up with your whoever that can't rap and be mumbling on the track, and y'all can just use y'all beats to try to get back at us. It ain't gonna work. I know what Drake gonna do. He gonna try to link up with Young Thug and all that, which is he's not being received very well at all. He better not say nothing. He on that 15 years probation, whatever he on. He better not say, no, Drake gonna try to link up with some people. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work.
of hip hop, this record is really going to represent this greater message, which is going to stand up for the future of every MC to create the way they want, and it could really not have a better story, because now, due to the state of the industry and the example that they tried to make out of clips for wanting to get Kendrick to say exactly what he wanted to on their record, with them moving through all their obstacles and with this record coming out, it is a moment that is going to scare the industry when it fully does drop, because they are going to learn more than ever that despite them wanting to ruin these visions and control the narratives and what happens, all to try and make their own interests run a little smoother, the industry cannot stop the passion and genuine art of an MC, and when everybody learns this, well, not just is Jay-Z and his influence never going to be greater, and Push and Kendrick will send a message that is so needed to the entire rap game, but the labels are going to be more scared than they ever have, because once again, we are seeing another moment where, due to their own failures and desire to help out losers like Drake who want to take away the ability for people to just rap freely, that no matter what they want in this era, they can't actually do this anymore, and they are losing more and more control in this era where artists have never been able to set the pace more, and rappers specifically at that are willing to put everything they have on the line to get their vision across. And now with this, while really the moments and news we have heard so far is just the beginning of this groundbreaking shift in hip-hop, as all three of these rappers continue to represent something.
Yeah, I can't wait till they link up together, man. I can't wait to hear future projects as well. When Kendrick Lamar is done with his movies and all of that, you know they got big things going over there at PG Lane. But when he's ready to get back in the booth, you already know he got to take his breaks. When he's ready to get back in the booth and linking up with Pusha T and No Malice with the clips, I think they're going to do some great bodies of work. I think they're going to do some good music, man. And this, I can't wait. I cannot wait. But yeah, and Kanye West, he going to be trying to link up too. Nah, Jay ain't going to forgive him. Jay is not going to forgive him. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, man. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.